Welcome to Home Improvement. I'm your host, Jimmy D. Today, we're going to take an ordinary electric fireplace and build it in so it looks super badass. Here we go. So for today's show, we're going to take a electric fireplace that we bought off of Amazon. I'm going to post that right here. I think we spent about $260 on it. It's a 26-inch electric fireplace. Pretty standard. We live down here in Austin, Texas, so we wanted something that had basically, one, looked kind of traditional, and two, we wanted to have a function so we can have heat and it can not have heat. We wanted it on mostly for ambience. Yeah, so we got one. We found some good reviews on it. The only thing is it looks pretty plain. So what we're going to do is basically frame out an enclosure for it, build it in just like a regular fireplace would be built in. We're going to get some really cool tile around it. Probably going to do shiplap around it as well, and then put that upstairs in the loft. So we're basically going to do the fireplace in the middle-ish. We're going to do a desk onto one side so it can be like kind of a multi-purpose office, and then off the other side we're probably just going to do a bookshelf. So it's going to really transform the upstairs. Right now it's just our little room. We kind of do yoga in that room, and that's basically it. I really want to start working up there too, so we need a dedicated space. So this fireplace really kind of started it all. Let me draw it out and let me show you what I'm talking about. So, the game plan. Basically what we're going to do is frame out that front wall that's going to house this fireplace. We're going to inset it back into the wall. The fireplace is going to sit here. This is all going to be tile. So this will wrap down and have a little bit of depth to it. It's going to look really nice. We will then shiplap this wall, and that's going to be basically the finished product on our built-in fireplace. On this side of the wall, we're going to do basically like a little access cubby, so something I can pop off so I can get behind that fireplace if I still need to get to something. If something goes wrong, I still have access behind there, which I really want to have. On top of that, we're going to do a little cubby where we can store things, because I also want to build a desk off on the right side. So kind of off-center to the left, we're going to have this fireplace. We're going to do a desk on the right side, and then on the left side, we're going to have basically a bookshelf. So that's pretty much it. Let's get to it. First things first, get your lumber, get your 2x4s all set up. Get yourself a cut list, get cutting. Once you get all your cuts done, lay them out on the ground. Set them up basically in an easy way so you can just get down there and start nailing everything together. In this instance, I basically just had top and bottom plate. What I'm nailing together now is going to be the frame for where that fireplace insert's going to go. This is basically just a badass close-up of how a nail gun works. Alright, wall's all framed. I'm going to stand it up and show you what it looks like. Hopefully this makes a little bit more sense now. This is going to be basically that inset firebox area. Right there is really going to be where the actual fireplace sits. That's the blocking for my mantle, and then that's the blocking for, I don't know, whatever, future TV, something like that. This insets now, so then I'm going to put my backer board here, put my tile onto that backer board. Hey, which is actually right there. Just a little sneak peek. It's going to be sick. I'm so pumped about that tile. It's like, I couldn't imagine a better tile for this. I'm pretty pumped. So, this tile, let's see if I can show you this way. It's basically going to be inset into here. So it's going to look like this. And then my trim boards are going to wrap around that 2x4 and die into the face of that. So this is going to go all around there. A nice little pattern. Fireplace is going to sit back there. So now I have an inset frame set back for my Hardy board, or my Hardy backer. And that's basically it. So that is the face wall of the upstairs fireplace build. And I basically just gotta build the two side walls. One wall's gonna be really easy because it's gonna be up against a bookshelf that I'm gonna build that to. And then the other side, it's gonna take a little bit more thinking because I wanna put some hidden bookshelves in there. Little pop away things. And, I still have to figure that out too. So on to the next one. All right guys, we're back. Excuse me. Day 2 build. Day 1, we basically just made that first fireplace wall. That's going to be the front where the insert goes, where all the tile surround is, everything like that. Now we're going to work on the two, basically the wing walls. So that front face wall is going to house that fireplace, and then the two wing walls. One side's going to be bookshelf, one side's going to be a desk. So I really want to have access on the desk side to, like I mentioned before, have some little hidden little hidden compartments basically. One, I want to be able to have access to the fireplace underneath in case something goes wrong. I need to unplug something, just take a look at everything. That's always good to have. So bottom of the desk is going to have access. Top of the desk is going to have a little door, a little cubby, something that we could put like laptops in, stuff like that, just to clean off that desk, make everything look nice and clean. We're going to be able to charge back there too, just keep everything organized. So here we go.
Out here with the squad, everybody trying to go.
So for this next part, you're basically gonna grab some plywood to frame up the box and cut up the box with the table saw. I was gonna go outside and grab some, I don't know, like 1/2-inch maple ply or something a little bit nicer, but then I found in my garage I had basically some 3/4-inch. It's not quite MDF, it's basically like a chipboard. I had a bunch of that stuff left over, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna paint this thing anyways. It's all gonna be white, and this is gonna be overkill, so I just started using that. So that's what's gonna be the kind of hidden compartment. This is where you can see a little bit of frosting from the cinnamon rolls that my wife made for me, so that's kind of nice.
It don't matter what they say. Say, hey, I've been on the wave. It's a party, make a toast. It's a party every day. So anywhere you go.
Then once you get all your box materials cut, all the sides, you want your basically just a back on this one because the front's going to have a door to it. Add some wood glue to everything, and then I just used an 18 gauge brad nailer with 1.25-inch brads just to tack it all together. You gotta take your time on this one. Make sure I'm using my speed square to square it all up. If this thing's out of square, it's gonna look very odd and it's gonna screw you down the line. So I'm checking square again, and once that thing's all nice and squared up, you can put that back piece on. Your back is really what's gonna keep that square. So that thing's good to go. Now we're ready to put that thing in the wall.
You better know. Ain't never going home. Ain't never going home. You better know. We ain't never going home. Ain't never going home. You better know.
Got my two drills set up. One of them has a basic countersink bit on it. One of them has a Phillips. I'm just going to use these 6 1/4 coarse thread drywall screws. They're black. With the countersink, they'll sit flush, so they'll look nice. They'll give a lot of strength and rigidity to this box in the framing. And I'm just going to tack the box in now, get it where I want it, and then add the structure with the screws. So here I got some leftover 2x material, kind of just scrap laying around. So I'm going to be adding some sort of shelving to this portion of the wall. I don't know exactly what we're going to do yet. So I just want to put as much blocking up there as possible. So whatever type of shelf I do put against that wall, it's going to go direct into a stud. As you can see behind me, that section's done. Pretty simple, little cubby way so you can climb underneath, get anything taken care of. That's going to be little hidden storage compartment, and then up top is going to be all the blocking I'm going to need to put my shelf once we decide what to do. So we have the face done, we have the right side of the fireplace done. Left side of the fireplace is going to be super easy. It's just going to be a wall because there's going to be a bookshelf to it. So It's 26 inches wide. I'm basically just gonna make it a 3-stud wall with a top plate and a bottom plate. Bang that out really quick, and then hustle the stuff upstairs and see if we can get it all assembled. Not too shabby, right?
Ain't never going home.
So now all the walls are completed. We have that face wall done. These are the 2 wing walls. Those are completed. Next thing I really got to do is just hustle these things upstairs. Once I get these things upstairs, they were pretty awkward. I almost ripped the couch. I had a speed square in the back pocket. So make sure your tools are out of your pockets when you're going through the house. Yeah, once these things are upstairs, we'll basically lay out on the wall where it's going to sit and basically just throw it all together. Whew! All right, so here's the room the fireplace going into. It basically comes up right up off the stairs. You walk up and in, and it's that big kind of open loft area that a lot of houses have. Has the knee wall over this side, where we have the fireplace just waiting right now, and then the built-in is going to go back against this wall right here. So, kind of center behind me is going to be the fireplace with the bump outs. Desk is going to go on that side. Bookshelf is going to go on that side.
You didn't want to be on camera.
Yeah, but I'm building this for you, you know. You're a good boy, pal. Get out of here. This next thing is basically mark where you want to have this thing sitting in your room. So I'm measuring the outside line of where these 2 wing walls are going to sit. I already know what the overall width is because I built that front wall. Truth be told, I actually assembled this once and we didn't like where it sat, so I took it all down. I actually cut it back about 5 inches, so I don't know if anybody was going to catch that in the video, but this thing's about 5 inches shallower than how I have it framed right now. It was a lot of work, but again, it's one of those things, once you have it in the room and you see how it looks in that room, the scale of it was just a little off. So now I have it actually snugged over a little bit more to the left, so the desk on the right is going to be a little bit bigger, and this thing sits back about 5 inches shallower into the room, which is a good thing. So yeah, so this is basically how it's going to look finalized in the room. Once you get everything secured to the floor, to the wall, then you're going to secure all that basically that front wall together. I just use 3-inch decking screws. They hold really well. They have a star bit to them. So you can hear it how snugly that just snug in. So I know I hit a stud there. That didn't just hit plain old sheetrock. Otherwise, I think it'd rip out a wall super easy, which it didn't. So that's good news. So I'm going to measure over 16 inches, draw another line for my next stud, screw into that bad boy, and that brace is pretty much set.
I could do this every day, nah, nah, nah. It don't matter what they say. I'm like, nah, 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 nah. You better know we ain't never going home. Ain't never going home. You better know we ain't never going home. Ain't never going home. You better know we ain't never going home. Ain't never going home. You better know we ain't never going home. Ain't never going home.
Alright guys, the day has come. Framing is complete. That's correct, finally. I messed up a few times, had to redo some things, but I'm glad I did because it came out really nice. So, framing's done here. Next step's gonna be shiplap. Everything came out pretty good. It's nice and secure to the wall, and then it looks pretty tasty. Yeah, next thing's shiplap. Here we go.